you. Fuck you. You suck. You are
You know what else is great about this? That by Nick Fuentes doing this, he's effectively positioned himself to have more of a moral compass than at least half the right-wing pundits right now. You get all the details, you drop all the horrifying disgustingness. I just want to say a couple of quick things. Right now, there are some people who are saying that we should all be giving MAGA and MAGA pundits a lot of credit because not all of them are supporting Donald Trump no matter what. A couple of them are not. You can certainly point to some examples, right? There's the Hodge twins is one case. In the opposite direction, we have HARASSMENT supporting Donald Trump, Laura Loomer supporting Donald Trump, Cat Turd supporting Donald Trump, Charlie Kirk supporting Donald Trump, Benny Johnson supporting Donald Trump, but he's not feeling good about it. He is still supporting him no matter what, but he's also just kind of like, it sucks. I know, but it doesn't feel right. But, you know, there's still, yeah, sure, Trump above all. Let's see if we can believe the lies. And as more stories come out, and Donald Trump is like, this whole thing reminds me of how, have you ever seen like a little kid and they accidentally do something bad and they know it, and then they know that they've done something bad, and so then they realize, how do I dig up? And then they do a bunch of other worse things right afterwards. Like if you spilt like a glass of juice, you're like, oh no. And then immediately you're just like, I need to smash something. So then that's worse, right? Or now I need to smash this and then spill that. And then there's just a mess everywhere. And it was just like, oh my God, you made things infinitely worse. That's what Trump has been doing this whole time. Like again, as of 2 weeks ago, if they had just stopped talking about the Epstein files and just given everyone that crumb, which was like, hey, we're releasing the Epstein files. Look, volume 1, get in there, Jack Posobiec, HARASSMENT, here's your Fell for It Again awards. We'll hand them all out. There you go. You got your Fell for It Again award. Hold up the Fell for It Again award. Look at all of you. Oh, yeah, you did great. It's all redacted, but hey, Trump is, fighting the deep state, releasing the info, all the good stuff. Well, that's obviously spiraled into just what the fuckery to such a degree where, like, in terms of myself, I gotta be honest with you, I've never been interested in the conspiracy side of the Epstein stuff. I just wanted to have all the disgusting ass rich billionaire pedophiles who were, raping children, see their day in court and eventually jail. That would be the best case scenario for me. So when people talk about the Epstein list, it's not as if Epstein was writing down literally a list of every single person who had sex with a teenager, when and who. That was not what the Epstein list, when someone tells you about the Epstein files or the Epstein list, what they're looking for. It's kind of like if you killed a person, right, you did commit murder, and in such case you probably wouldn't write down, I have killed so-and-so. And then if you killed another person, you'd write, I have killed so-and-so and so-and-so. Look at that. It's the list. No, but there was an island, and there was a lot of trips, and there was a lot of arrangements, and there was a lot of people meeting with, Epstein-affiliated children who had been trafficked by him, who he either had raped himself or they were, also sexually abusing the kids. And so in that case, that's who everyone wants to see exposed, at least for me on the left. That's what I would like to see released to the world, so that they can face proper consequences, all that shit. That's what I want by the list. There's the other side of the internet that really has Epstein at the core of every conspiracy theory that's ever happened, and he's at the centerpiece of it all, whether it's Pizzagate, QAnon, Wayfair cabinets, you name it, at the core of the global elites and the cabal and all the Illuminati and all that kind of stuff, and the anti-Semitism is Jeffrey Epstein. He is at the very core of all the conspiracy theories. And so for some people, they've gone so far into this, and they've made this into their personalities, they've lost their families, they've lost their kids, they've lost everything in pursuant of the Epstein files. And the right have also been going so hard into the Epstein files for so long, and I think a handful of them, Donald Trump Jr. is one big example, they know how close they were flying to the sun. Like all these fucking pedo Icaruses constantly talking about the Epstein files. Yeah, the Democrats don't want to release them. Well, what does that tell you? Well, what are they hiding? Oh, yeah. Oh, fucking a lot of pedos. And you're like, right. So as a leftist, I'm for releasing all of it and having all these motherfuckers burn. All of them. Burn them all. I say everything burns. Like, I would like all of them to face their day in court. So I don't care if Bill Clinton gets roasted. I hope he does. In fact, I'm counting on it. I want Bill Clinton to go down. And this is one of the reasons why the Democrats, I think up until this point, have not been really hard on this when this is such an obvious and easy win. You have it on a silver platter now before you. This is the one time where even if he wasn't really guilty, even if he was just one of Jeffrey Epstein's closest, if not best friends, constantly traveled with him, constantly rode on his planes, constantly visited the island, constantly partied with him, all of that, but did not fuck kids. Did all of the rest, that is all documented, and there's evidence for it, and all of that. We already know all that to be true, but he didn't do the kid fucking part. That part was the only part that Donald Trump didn't do, okay? So everything else you can blame and you can say is a real thing. Well, prior to this week, you might have had some plausible deniability. But now, my boys, and in some cases gals, you really got to start to look at everything that's gone down. I am honestly in awe, in shock. I can't believe every day that goes by, Trump looks more guilty. Just day after day. Like, there's so many easy ways he could feed them crumbs. And instead, he wants them to obey. He doesn't have another setting. He doesn't know that you're actually kind of getting in a lot of shit right now within your own base. Your own base is not happy. Look at Turning Point USA. They're like, every single person who talked about the Epstein files, everyone was like, oh yeah, no, what the fuck? They did a poll, just a hand poll, but they were still, who here considers the Epstein files still to be an important thing that they think we should release? Everyone. Just it's like, okay, well, yeah, this is just unfortunately just too intrinsic to the actual MAGA cult. You cannot separate the Epstein shit from MAGA. You cannot, and now he's trying to do that. So he's doing all these tricks, right? He's like, well, have we brought up Comey? I'm going to investigate Comey. The stolen election, that stolen election's pretty bad. Have we talked about that? Venezuela, we brought up that. Pam Bondi, can you give a press statement about trans kids and sports? Try that one. That one's not sticking either. Okay. You know what? Fuck it. The Epstein files are part of the Russia hoax, Russia, and it's one of the things that was actually created by Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton invented the Epstein files. And then it's like, whew, wow, that's what's so much worse for you. I mean, I don't know if you've ever played chess, sir, but effectively what you're doing is just taking your best, like the queen, you know, a bishop and a rook, and you're just melting them in front of the other player, being like, this is not illegal, it's not against the rules. True, but it's bad for you. That hurts you. I don't know if you know, but Clinton is probably all over the Epstein files. In fact, it's pretty assured that he is. There's photos of him getting massages from one of the women who was trafficked as a child, so it's pretty fucking conclusive, I'd say, in terms of like the public opinion at least. Bill Clinton is guilty as fuck. So what was he doing? I dare ask. Was he playing the long game? Was he doing the Drake? Yeah, I planted the evidence. Like, it was part of the plan to make everyone think that he's a rapist pedophile for years, while secretly having invented the entire racist pedophile conspiracy himself. So, like, to what aim? I don't know. I'm not sure. I haven't figured that one out, so I don't know if he has. I don't know if Donald Trump has started to tinker with the possibilities on this one, but obviously this just gets worse and worse and worse. Yesterday, I guess, was kind of one of those days where a lot of people were feeling kind of blue, kind of down, you know. Even Charlie Kirk, you could tell his head shrunk a little bit. He wasn't quite as grotesquely swollen, so it was a sight to see. He had to come out on his show and talk about how, hey, I know I said yesterday that I just think we should all drop it and we should stop talking about Epstein. And clearly I saw the metrics, the numbers, and how all of you responded, and all the emails and the letters and the calls and all of that. And by what I meant by dropping it is that we shouldn't drop it. It's important, and it's a core tenet of our beliefs. And you know what? Trump should appoint a special prosecutor. Ooh, this is it. We got it. All right, Laura Loomer's saying the same thing. Benny Johnson. Oh, he's so happy. Look at Benny Johnson, the little theater kid. He's having such a wonderful day today. He gets to run in front of a mic and be like, ooh, guess what, y'all? I got a plan. We all have a plan. We appoint a special prosecutor because then someone can investigate all of this. Someone can go all over the evidence, right? It doesn't matter if these Democrats try to force a vote or any of this other weird shit where we're not going to play their games, all right? We appoint a special prosecutor, one who, again, is neither going to be Republican or Democrat focused. We'll pick someone. We can even appoint people from both sides to be able to review their information, and then they can just do that in the background. And because Trump, you're not guilty, and you're not all over this shit, you have nothing to worry about, and then we can go back to basically making Mexican kids cry because we're ripping them from their mother's arms. And so that's what we'll do. And I don't know if you all saw Greg Gutfeld, but he said so much, like almost that out loud. He was basically like, some things we just got to accept that part of the deep state is that there will be Epstein stuff, and like, but we're doing such important work, such important ice. Come on, the raids, the deportations, the camps, we're rounding them up, we're putting them in the camps. So I think we just need to accept a certain degree of pedophile cults. Hear me out. I know it sounds bad, but if we just accept a smidge, a small, teeny little amount of pedophile cult, and that maybe Donald Trump was directly implicated in it or something, and maybe he's trying to cover it up. I know it doesn't really look good, but I'm not happy about that. But hey, here we are. And then we can go back to making Mexican children cry. Doesn't that sound lovely? That sounds so beautiful. It's honestly, it's the only thing that's bringing us joy, filling that weird void in our hearts. It's the only thing right now that is actually, you know, giving me half mass. And so I just feel that the children's tears are more important. Okay, they're more important than the whole pedophile cult stuff. So who's with me? How about you, Jesse Waters? Even Jesse Waters is still kind of like. This one's hard. It's just, you know, this is kind of everything. It's kind of just been at the core of all of it, and now we're the Epstein ones. We're the Epstein file people. We're the nothing to see here. He killed himself. There is no client list. Nothing happened. Epstein alone was the only pedo. He alone was the only one with the thousands of potential victims. And the photos, we got to ignore them. Prince Andrew. Sucks. I am sorry to say, Trump has refused. He is refusing to appoint a special prosecutor. He has said that this is asinine, and he went to Truth Social to call MAGA and his followers, who still care about this kind of stuff, to be fools, and that they are being manipulated, and that they are just as bad as the Russia hoax kind of crowd, and everyone needs to get in line, and everyone needs to, you know, be honorable and follow him in all his ways. So there will no longer be a special prosecutor appointed in the Epstein case, and hopefully that's case closed. Hopefully none of you think about this anymore. The White House press secretary doubled down on Trump's partisan lines of attack about the Jeffrey Epstein case, which has caused turmoil amongst the MAGA base. Yeah, apparently they're burning hats. Is that yeah, that's a thing. Oh. Even Mike Pence is calling for them.
MAGA hats are off. America First hats are on.
Unfortunately, Trump still gets to keep all the money. Now, this brings us, I guess, to this new Bombshell article that just came out. I don't know if it's going to have anything new. We'll see. Jeffrey Epstein's friends sent him bawdy letters for a 50th birthday album. One was from Donald Trump. It was Jeffrey Epstein's 50th birthday, and Ghislaine Maxwell was preparing a special gift to mark the occasion. She turned to Epstein's family and friends. One of them was Donald Trump. Maxwell collected letters from Trump and dozens of Epstein's other associates for his 2003 birthday album, according to a document reviewed by the Wall Street Journal. Pages from the leather-bound album assembled before Epstein when first arrested in 2006 are amongst the documents examined by the Justice Department officials who investigated Epstein and Maxwell years ago, according to people who have reviewed the pages. It's unclear if any of the pages are part of the Trump administration's recent review. The president's past relationship with Epstein is at a sensitive moment. The Justice Department documents, the so-called Epstein files, and who or what is in them are at the center of a storm consuming the Trump administration. On Wednesday, after angry comments about how the files are a hoax created by the Democrats, President Trump lashed out at his own supporters for refusing to let the matter go. The letter bearing Trump's name, which was reviewed by the Journal, is bawdy, like others in the album. It contains several lines of typewritten text framed by the outline of a naked woman, which appears to be a hand drawn with a heavy marker. A pair of small arcs denotes the women's breasts, and the future president's signature is a squiggly Donald below her waist, mimicking the pubic hair. The letter concludes, "Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret." In an interview with the Journal on Tuesday evening, Trump denied writing the letter or drawing the picture. "This is not me. This is a fake thing. It's a fake Wall Street Journal story," he said. "I never wrote a picture in my life. I don't draw pictures of women," he said. "It's not my language. It's not my words." He told the Journal he was preparing to file a lawsuit if it published an article. "I'm going to sue the Wall Street Journal, just like I sued everyone else," he said. Allegations that Epstein had been sexually abusing girls became public in 2006 when he was arrested that year. Epstein died in 2019 in jail after he was arrested a second time and charged with sex trafficking conspiracies under Donald Trump's presidency. Add, just to be clear. Justice Department officials didn't respond to requests for comment or address the questions about whether the Trump page and other pages of the birthday album were part of the agency's recent document review. The FBI declined to comment. The existence of the album and the contents of the birthday letters haven't previously been reported. The album had poems, photos, and greetings from business people, academics, Epstein's former girlfriends, and childhood pals, according to documents reviewed by the Journal and people familiar with them. Amongst those who submitted letters were the billionaire Leslie Wexner and attorney Alan Dershowitz. Alan Dershowitz. Amazing how you keep showing up. The album also contained a letter from a now deceased Harvard economist, one of Epstein report cards from Mark Twain Jr. High School in Brooklyn, and a note from a former assistant that included an acrostic with Epstein's name, "Jeffrey, oh Jeffrey. Everyone loves you. Fun in the sun. Fun just for fun. Remember, don't forget me soon. Epstein, you rock. You are the best." Epstein said Wexner's money manager at the time, or was Wexner's money manager at the time. The long-standing leader of Victoria's Secret wrote a short message that said, "I wanted to get you what you want, so here it is." After the text was a line drawing of what appeared to be a woman's breasts. Sorry, is this something that Epstein was requesting? Because you know when like people show up for like rich, I just seen this in movies. I don't really have a lot of experience with this, but rich people have these birthday parties, as Curb Your Enthusiasm has led me to believe, where everyone ceremoniously has to sit down and present their gifts like they're presenting something to a pharaoh, and then they open up all the gifts one by one, and then like if you don't get the right gift, like you're shamed before the eyes of all the other people there. And in this case, was that what Jeffrey was requesting? It's like, well, I mean, it doesn't matter what you buy him, but your card better have like some fucking titties. You gotta put some bush in there, you know? Yeah. It's easy. You just do the squiggly lines, you know, that kind of stuff. You can even, Donald, why don't you be a little creative? You could do your signature as the pubic hair. So the woman's pubic hair is your signature. I can't believe this is real life. This is real life. Wexler declined to comment to his spokesman. Wexner's spokesman previously told the Journal that the retail mogul severed all ties with Epstein in 2007 and never spoke with him again. Dershowitz's letter included a mock-up of a Vanity Unfair magazine cover with a mock headline such as, "Who was Jack the Ripper? Was it Jeffrey Epstein?" He joked and had convinced the magazine to change the focus of an article from Epstein to Bill Clinton. Dershowitz, who represented Epstein after his first arrest, said, "It's been a long time and I don't recall the content of what I may have written." Or drawn, I wonder? The book was put together by a New York City bookbinder, Herbert Weitz. According to the people who were involved in the process, Weitz, who died in 2020, listed Epstein as a client on his website in 2003. It isn't clear how the letter with Trump's signature was prepared. Inside the outline of a naked woman was a typewritten note styled as an imaginary conversation between Trump and Epstein, written in the third person. Oh my God. Here we go. Voiceover. "There must be more to life than having everything," the note began. "Donald, yes, there is. But I won't tell you what it is. Jeffrey, nor will I, since I also know what it is. Donald, we have certain things in common, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, yes we do. Come to think of it. Donald, enigmas never change. Have you noticed that? Jeffrey, as a matter of fact, It was clear to me the last time I saw you. Trump, a pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret. You sick fucks. Jesus. Like, even if you were to ignore the overwhelming amount of evidence that there is so far that Donald Trump is all over this shit, you have to go the extra distance of doing these weird handwritten fucking soliloquies, just going full fucking Shakespeare on his ass while you are drawing a naked woman and signing her pubes with your signature. Enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? Yeah, I mean, if you were to take the names out, I bet even if you ran this through ChatGPT, if you were to just take all the context out and we're like, what does this conversation pertain to? This is a conversation between two pedophiles admitting to one another that they are pedophiles and engaged in illegal activity, most likely trafficking or raping children. That's what I would infer from the conversation taking place between two people. Jesus Christ. Jeffrey enjoys his social life. When he turned 50, Epstein was already wealthy from managing Wexner's fortune and socializing with Trump, Clinton, and other powerful people in his Manhattan Tower House, Palm Beach, Florida, home and private Caribbean island. A spokesman for Clinton referred to a 2019 statement that former President Bill Clinton had cut off ties for more than a decade before Epstein's second arrest and didn't know about Epstein's alleged crimes. Epstein and Trump spent time together in the 1990s and early 2000s and were photographed at social events, including with Maxwell and Melania Trump. A 1992 tape from NBC Archive shows Trump partying with Epstein at his Mar-a-Lago estate. Trump is seen pulling a woman towards him and patting her behind. Trump, along with others, include Clinton, who also appeared several times on the flight logs for Epstein's private jet. A 2002 New York Magazine profile of Epstein quoted Trump, "I've known Jeff for 15 years. Terrific guy," Trump said. "He's a lot of fun to be with. It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side. No doubt about it. Jeffrey enjoys his social life." Both men say they subsequently had a falling out. Trump has said that his friendship ended before Epstein pleaded guilty to procuring a minor for prostitution in 2008, served time in a Florida jail, and registered as a sex offender. When Epstein was arrested again in 2019, Trump said he hadn't talked to Epstein for about 15 years. "I knew him like everybody in Palm Beach knew him," Trump said in the Oval Office at the time. "I was not a fan of his. That I can tell you." Kind of different, but yeah. I mean, this part here shows me that I think that you were a lot closer than you're letting on, and pretty big fan of him and the things that he did. Maxwell, a British socialite, was convicted in 2021 of helping Epstein's sex trafficking and sentenced to 20 years in prison. Maxwell didn't respond to a letter requesting an interview sent to her in prison. Arthur Adela, an attorney representing Maxwell in her appeal, said at this point she's focused on her case before the Supreme Court of the United States. Epstein's associations with Trump and many powerful people have been well documented. There remains questions about the FBI possess about Epstein and his well-connected friends. In 2019, the FBI confiscated evidence from Epstein's properties in the U.S. Virgin Islands and New York. Earlier Tuesday, after the Journal sought comments about the president about the letter, Trump told reporters at the White House that he believes some of the Epstein files were made up by former President Barack Obama and Joe Biden and former director James Comey. He said the releasing of more Epstein files would be up to the General Pam Bondi. Whatever she thinks is credible, she should release, Trump said. Allegations that bureaucrats covered up Epstein's connections with participants in the trafficking scheme were fanned by people now in top roles in the Trump administration, including FBI Director Kash Patel and his deputy Dan Bongino, which, again, I was just having fun with all this shit, right? Like, I wasn't fully going into the conspiracy side of things, but I think now we are allowed, we being everyone who has never abused children. So I would like to say, I think that Donald Trump specifically chose Dan Bongino and Kash Patel because they were two people who at their core made a large part of their personalities the Epstein case, and were like experts on the Epstein case, and we're constantly talking about the Epstein files, the Epstein network, the pedo conspiracies, all that kind of shit, the Hollywood elites, all that shit. So I think he hired them specifically because at this point they would be the best fall guys possible, because even like Kash Patel went on Joe Rogan and he was like, "It's me, man. Like, you know me. Like, if I saw it, you know, I've wanted to expose the Epstein stuff my whole career. It's basically a core tenet of my beliefs, my personalities. This is who I am. So because of that, I would tell you, I would let you know if I saw something that, you know, implicated someone we know. That I'll just say that. You can trust me." And then it's like a couple days later, Dan Bongino and him go on TV. Epstein killed himself. We know that for a fact. 100%. It is completely and 100% a thing that happened in the real world. And we will be releasing footage never before seen that will prove it. And, you know, I wish there was more to it. I wish it was more interesting and more exciting. Unfortunately, this is just the world we live in. I mean, you know, truth is truth. So the video's coming out. And the video comes out, and there's a minute missing, which again, I'm not the conspiracy brain type of person. It doesn't matter to me if he was assassinated or killed himself. At the end of the days, if the list is going to come out, that's more important. What is most important is that every single fucking pedophile who raped and trafficked children, they get caught. That's what's most important. So I hope that list comes out. And again, they can all be arrested, Bill Clinton and Donald Trump included. Let them all rot in jail. It doesn't seem like maybe, you know, Donald Trump has a lot of days left to rot. All that being said, now it's just seeming so goddamn sus. Like you're planting conspiracies in my brain where it's like, well, why did you delete a minute of the footage? Oh, we didn't delete that. That it's old. So yeah, so back in the day, all the nights at that time, the minute would clip out. So that's all that happened there. And then you're like, all right, don't worry, we'll be releasing more footage from other, I guess, cells that can prove that point. Okay. Wired comes out. And Wired, I gotta say, is doing such important reporting. Wired, honestly, Wired is doing the kind of reporting on the deep state, or AKA the Imperial Core, the US Empire. They're reporting, they're challenging power by doing really good reporting. Shout out to Wired. Good nerds trying to take down evil nerds. Wired has basically become what the New York Times is supposed to be, in essence. So Wired is doing this reporting. They did some investigation. They found out through forensic analysis that the video footage that was presented to the world, in fact, had been edited and doctored. How did they find that out? Well, I don't know if you know this, but if you use software like Adobe Premiere, as I do, it encodes it with metadata. You could, if you had better OPSEC, if you weren't fucking, you know, Pete Hegseth tier, you could erase that or try to manipulate it or try to even throw someone off the case by putting in information there that is not the proper metadata encoding. They didn't. They literally just handed it, I'm assuming it, to some temp, some big balls fucking tier dude, and we're like, hey, by the way, edit this out. And he's like, what is this? Don't ask, just edit this out, export it, make sure you're careful, you know, the nation is at stake here, and then give it to us, and you fall on the sword if this fucks up. Turns out that it had not only been edited on Adobe Premiere, but much more than a minute was missing. In fact, nearly 3 minutes is missing, which is also like, why are you doing this? You are making this so much worse. Now I'm starting to believe in the conspiracies because it really feels like you're just really bad at covering this up and you're doing it in real time, and now I gotta sit back and be like, Jesus Christ. So you edited out 3 fucking full minutes. Yeah, that's more than enough time for, I guess, an assassin. I don't know how long. I'm not an assassin. I've only played Assassin's Creed, so I don't know, like, you know, or Hitman, but 3 minutes seems like a lot of time. That's basically a mission on easy mode. So this is not nightmare mode. It was easy mode, and so someone could go in there effectively and kill him and then get out, and then, yeah, that could be the 3 minutes of missing footage. I don't know. All of that is obviously, at this point, unknown. In June 2024, Trump was asked in a Fox News interview whether he should release the Epstein case files. The Republican presidential candidate initially responded, yeah, I would. But then he also expressed some reservations. In the unedited, the original version, it just cut there, by the way, because it looks way better. And he's like, yeah. Actually, you don't want it to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there, because it's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world, but I think I would. Soon after he was confirmed as Attorney General, Bondi said she was preparing to release the new Epstein files. In late February, Bondi announced the release of Phase 1 of the documents, but the material contained a few new revelations, drawing criticism from right-wing influencers. Look at you, holding up your Filford Awards. Oh, you're all such special children. This is beautiful. Hey, by the way, higher right check. You know, the person who's made an entire career out of vilifying LGBTQ plus people and making trans kids' lives scarier every single day by saying that anyone who happens to be trans, non-binary, gay, asexual, anything that you consider to be degenerate or sinful, apparently they're all pedophiles and groomers, and you spend all day. If they even record a video where it's like, hi, I use they, them pronouns, like pedophile groomer, here's a video of a pedophile groomer, this person rapes kids, here it is, look at it. That person, yeah, that's who's standing right there holding up the Felford Again Award. And again, she's been totally radio silent on this. Weird. That's strange. Because, again, this is like your whole thing. You too, and wokeness. I mean, sorry, Jack Posobiec. You too. It's your whole thing. You love talking about the Epstein files. What's going on? How y'all doing? Bondi initially blamed the FBI New York office for withholding information and promised to release the remaining documents after redacting the victim's name. Patel also said, there will be no cover-ups, no missing documents, and no stone left unturned. They tasked hundreds of FBI employees to review the materials and prepare them for release. The issue took on a new life in June when Elon Musk, amid a public feud with Trump, alleged that the FBI was withholding the documents from the Epstein case because Trump's was in the files. Oh yeah, how could we... Totally forgot about that one, but one of his closest associates, as soon as things turned bad, as soon as they started fighting, was like, okay, fine, you want a nuke? I saw the Epstein files. Trump's all over them. How's that for a nuke? Haha. And then everyone's like... And then, you know, some time went by, the ketamine wore off, you know, he got out of the K-hole, and he, you know, cleaned his shorts from pissing himself uncontrollably, and then immediately was like, sorry, not, delete. That never happened. On July 7th, the Justice Department backtracked on Bondi's pledge to release more of the Epstein files. The Justice Department said, after an exhaustive review, it found no incriminating client list. Again, this wouldn't be so bad if you hadn't told everyone there was a massive incriminating client list. If you hadn't done a press tour. She went on television to multiple different outlets on Fox, just talking nonstop, being like, yep, oh, there's a client list and you're gonna see it. And it is going to blow your minds when you see the things that we've seen. Disgusting things. Yes, oh, it's revolting. Wait till you see it and the implications, my word. Oh, so we're definitely going to be getting... Yep. Oh, yeah, it's coming out. It's on my desk. It is on my desk. I just got to, you know, go over it, make sure that we don't put too many incriminating things in there. But it's coming. Get ready. It's coming out. At a cabinet meeting on July 8th, Trump criticized a reporter for asking about Epstein. Are people still talking about this guy, this creep? This is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time? I didn't know at the time for that one where Trump is standing outside and he's standing beside some dude who's laughing. That apparently was Jeffrey Epstein's neighbor. I didn't know that either. Why are you I'm so fucking, this has to be just like the rawest, purest example of someone failing upwards their entire lives where they're so oblivious to reality. You live in a different world. Where how are you not noticing this yet? Why are you consistently going on truth and now trashing your own fan base when they're like, just give us anything, sir. Again, anything. You could say like, because here's a freebie. Because of the corruption of the Democrats and the fact that they have been trying to hide the Epstein files from all of you, I do not feel confident appointing a special prosecutor because I believe it's going to be too corrupt because of the deep state and the way the Democrats have influenced that entire process. Not enough people will know what a special prosecutor is. So at that point, a lot of people would be like, see where he's going with this, wait for it, which is why I am appointing a special trustee to now investigate this to make sure that they can reveal every single detail so the American people can have the truth. Boom. Done. You appoint anyone. It could be Eric. It could be fucking the bag of cocaine Donald Trump Jr. has in the background of his shots. Could be anything. Again, that part doesn't matter, but then you've given them something. There you go. A crumb. Just a crumb. Yeah, but then he's doing the opposite. Every day he goes in front and the cameras and the mics are all just like, sir, we just have some questions about this. What's going on with the Jeffrey? Why you gotta talk about Epstein? He's a creep. He's a creep. Why are we talking about this? And you're like, you sound guilty as fuck, bro. Now you're attacking your own fans, your own base. You're calling them fucking lefties and commies and Jesus. I am not at all surprised that they are absolutely revolted. That same day, Musk wrote on X, how can people expect to have faith in Trump if he won't release the Epstein files? Wow. So yeah, this is, I guess, the newest part is the fact that Trump gave Jeffrey Epstein a personalized letter where he drew a naked woman and he signed his signature in the woman's bush where he was talking to Jeffrey and definitely being like, we're both pedos, right? Like, were I to write a poem about how we are both pedophiles, this is probably how it would play out. We have certain things in common, Jeffrey. Yes, we do, come to think of it. I can't believe he wrote both their characters. He wrote up a fictional scenario where they're talking to each other about how they're both child rapists. This is the real world.
During the Biden administrations, not one time did Hakeem Jeffrey call for any exposition of what the Biden Justice Department knew. He doesn't care about the truth.
Wait,
He doesn't care about the people.
Hold on. Bill.
This is what
hold on.
he
I
does.
just gotta, hold on, Bill. Hold on. You said Epstein was convicted during the Biden administration. Epstein committed during the Trump administration.
Yeah, so am I wrong on that?
He was arrested in 2019, and he committed in 2019. He died August 10th of 2019. So the Biden administration was not involved in a conviction or a trial of him. They were in the of his madam, of Elaine Maxwell.
Okay. But he was arrested and indicted under Merrick Garland.
No, under Trump.
Who had all
under
of the
Trump.
information.
Under
No.
Epstein was arrested, indicted under Trump. In 2019, Trump was president. Merrick Garland was not the attorney general.
I'm more than anything astounded that the guy on News Nation kept going. I thought he would have just given him like a really easy off ramp. Like, you know, it's not hard to do. Again, just to be like, well, you know, some of the details are murky. But yeah, I mean, just for the record, it was under Donald Trump's administration, so we know that to be true. Moving on, and then there, you gave him a little pass. Not just like he kept going, but Merrick Garland was responsible. How much right-wing slop have you been consuming during your retirement phase? Like, I assume just such a steady diet that you believe this to be true. You can see on his face. I don't think this is just simply a case of him, like, trying to tell a story that he in his heart knew was a lie. I think he genuinely thought this was reality. I was just like, what? No, but wait, hold on. According to One Media, Breitbart, it says here, like...
Convicted during the Biden administrations. Not one time did Hakeem Jeffrey call for any exposition of what the Biden Justice Department knew. He doesn't care about the truth.
Wait,
he doesn't care about
Hold on. What's going on here? Unfortunately, MAGA, you're going to have to vote, burn a lot more hats. A lot of them. Hey, I don't know if you heard, Nick Fuentes, he's out. You lost the Nazis. You have lost the support of the Nazis. He's going full steam ahead. Fuck Trump. I hope the Republicans get quashed and destroyed in the midterms. I hate them.
Suck. You are fat. You are a joke. You are stupid. We are going to look back on the MAGA movement as the biggest scam in American history. And the liberals were right. And now he says, if you're not on board with the Epstein cover-up, oh, I don't want your support. You're a weakling. Fuck you. Fuck you. You suck. You are fat.
You know what else is great about this? That by Nick Fuentes doing this, he's effectively positioned himself to have more of a moral compass than at least half the right-wing pundits right now. The Nazi has more of a moral compass than Laura Loomer, Chaya Raichik, Cat Turd, Charlie Kirk, Jack Posobiec. Ooh, that's not great. That's not, you're getting outflanked by a fucking Nazi. Like, he has definitely decided, yeah, okay, this is my line. Yeah, the bar is quite high. I want to own the libs. I want the liberal tiers. All about that. Yes, I want the exterminationist project that we're all working towards. The fascism. I love all that shit. That's awesome. But the pedophile cult, I can't. I gotta draw a line somewhere. That was my line, you know?
Fat. You are a joke. You are stupid. You are not funny. You are not as smart as you think you.
Alex Jones had previously turned on Trump. No, Alex Jones's arc's even funnier. He originally tried to do cover for this and realized no percentage of his audience was ever going to buy that. He had this whole kind of like, the deep state. Obviously, when you get into the deep state, I think a large part of this is that Trump effectively, he knew that if he released the files, it effectively would ruin the eyes of America, and to our enemies would make us look weak. So he had to work within the deep state to broker a deal. Now, that effectively is how this works, and I'm not happy about it, but I understand. And then so that was his first, pass. That was, I think, day one. Man, it's been a long week for this. I think that was Monday. And then the next day was when he filmed The Cry, was where he pulled out like, it can't be true, you know, kind of shit. And like, obviously, you know, I am always going to be one of those people who believes that, you know, men should be more in tune with their emotions. We shouldn't shame men for crying and showing emotion. I think it's a beautiful thing. And I think that there should absolutely be 100% more opening of the window for men to understand that they are empathetic, beautiful creatures like any other gender, and that we should be able to express those emotions freely. Except for Alex Jones. Because fuck that guy. And also, he cries weird. He cries super strange. It's really funny. I don't know if that's actually his crying. He's kind of like fucking, he's got the Jordan Peterson tears out here. Just like, my dude. I am so here for the 2.0 revolution, right? The menvolution, where we are going to be becoming fully actualized, and we're no longer going to be ashamed of having feelings, because feelings are beautiful. But this ain't that, all right? This is just a bunch of Nazis who, unfortunately, they bet on the wrong pedophile horse. They threw all their chips down, and that's just the world that they all live in now. Every one of them is having to reckon with this shit. And they said, oh God, is it true? Is he a pedo? It's just like, yeah. Now, here's the thing. You could cut your losses. That's probably the best course of action at this point, honestly, because, I mean, what does the future hold? If you go forward with this now, at this point, with this amount of both evidence and Trump's own denial and cover-up taking place in front of the eyes of the world, all you got left is that you are okay with the pedophile cults. You have become the pedophile cults. That's you. And that's you forever. I mean, that stain do not wash off. No, you cannot. There's no take backsies. It's like, oh no. If you are now saying that you're okay with a certain degree of pedophile cult, just as long as you get to see a couple Mexican kids cry every now and then, no, there's no. I'm sorry. We're not even talking about entering the kingdom of heaven here. We're talking about the fact that there is no saving any aspect of you. No. You are doomed for all eternity. Yes, in perpetuity, forever, always. That's just who you are. And that's probably why a line is being drawn in the sand, right? At some point, we got to make a list. Yes, an Epstein list, if you will, of the right-wingers who have said, no go. I mean, that includes Matt Walsh, Riley Gaines, the Hodge twins. These are, again, three pretty big prominent people. Tim is kind of sitting on the fence, milquetoast fence sitter. He's kind of did that, but his co-hosts, Luke Rudowski, I forget what his name is. He is just 100% fuck this. What? I did not know. Sorry. And I know a lot of people want to be like, how did you not know? I mean, come on. There's just so much evidence. Jeffrey Epstein himself said they were best friends. There's an article that came out very close to the election in which one of the survivors of being trafficked by Epstein came out and said that she was sexually assaulted by both Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump, and that they frequently played games in which he was exchanged before the two of them in some weird power dynamics the two of them had. Now, having seen that letter, it seems incredibly conclusive that she was actually telling the truth the entire time. I know a lot of people said, oh, she's just lying for the fame. But yeah, no, actually, it looks like the more stories come out, the more all of this is being corroborated. So, overwhelming amount of evidence that Donald Trump is in fact a serial pedophile rapist, and now covering up, like next to the Catholic Church, he's got to be one of the biggest, right? I mean, it's like Catholic Church, Donald Trump, in that order. That's 1 and 2. And so now Donald Trump is in second place. And, you know, pray he never becomes in first place. So you got to cut your losses. Look, the Democrats and the libs, who I shit on a lot, a ton. I shit on liberals here in Canada. I shit on the liberals in America. I shit on fucking Keir Starmer, even though I was going to talk about the fact that it's pretty awesome that the UK just got the 16-year-old voting age. That's going to be pretty awesome to see. But sorry, I digress. I shit on libs all the time. I've even got sound bites for it.
Don't trust the liberals. They will betray you.
A large percentage of Joe Biden voters and supporters broke rank and file. They had a line. It was genocide. And they just could not trolley problem that. They made a calculation. They started writing letters. They started protesting. They started calling him Genocide Joe. They were completely revolted with him. And they were calculated enough to know the full lever and consequences that could come from potentially a Donald Trump presidency. But that was their line. And they broke rank and file at that point. Now that, honestly, in my assessment, is a much more noble thing, that you can actually sleep well at night and go down in the annals of history of knowing that you were on the right side of an issue, that you did not want to support the genocide of Palestinians, that you were disgusted with the complicity of your own government, of the weapons and the arms and the funding and all that kind of stuff, and you did everything in your power up into doing something illegal to try and prevent it. That's where you're going to know that this was what you did. So in this case, the bar is much lower. Gotta be honest. I don't think this is much of an ask. In fact, again, it's below hell in terms of like, did you need me to spell this out for you? Did you want me to write this down in a sentence so you can read it out loud and hear how insane this is? That if you are still willing to support Donald Trump at this moment in time, this 2025, the year of Luigi, you're going to sit back and be like, but he's doing some good shit. You know, he's ripping the families apart, and we're seeing all of these minorities crying and they're scared, and we're winning. There's so much winning, and he's building the camps. We got concentration camps, and they're flooding, and there's maggots in the food, and we're going to torture children. A 15-year-old was just reported to have spent multiple days in there, and that was wrong. And then we're arresting innocent people because they don't, look the right way, and some of them don't speak exclusively English, and we're arresting them off the streets. Innocent people. The overwhelming percentage of people who have been arrested by ICE actually have not committed any crimes. No crimes to this point. They arrested a fucking veteran the other day. A veteran, a US citizen, and a veteran. They arrested him. They put him in a cage. And that's just the administration that we got now. I love this. So yeah, I'm not excited about the whole now I am part of the actual pedophile cult cover-up, and that the president may be a serial pedophile child rapist. I'll get there. But for the time being, we might just need to compartmentalize. Just put this stuff off and keep on winning, right?
Don't let this happen to you. Go to serfscoffee.com to order the only end-to-end owned indigenous coffee company that delivers blood-free, conflict-free, and cruelty-free beans right to your door. 0% of people who drink serfscoffee.com have exploded spontaneously. By ordering right now, you get 10% off plus free shipping, and it's the best way to enjoy delicious coffee while not exploding. That's serfscoffee.com, serfscoffee.com.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. This video wouldn't be at all possible without the financial support of all the people whose names you see on the screen right now. And if you want to unlock secret bonus episodes, content that we can't post anywhere else, or get the videos early before anyone else gets to see them, please go on to patreon.com/theserfs. For as little as $1, you can help support this channel and help make more videos like this possible. Our executive producers are Anna Loves Riley, Adrian McCarthy, Bobby Lasers, Cheryl Alvarez, Comrade Junkie, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Garrett Sandoval, Hagbard Celine, Jimmy Sombrero, Multimondi, Omni, Political Papi, Preston Kroll, Quiet 185, Richard Boehm, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Cernicus, Stellar Gwyn, Sebastian Demel, Tigwig, Trav, and Words Greenwood. And also, it wouldn't be possible without all the names you see on the screen right now. Again, if you want to help produce this content, it's only made possible through the funding of our patrons. Head on down to patreon.com/theserfs. That's patreon